Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video about neoplasia, we will discuss about different type of carcinogenesis. Mainly we will discuss about chemical carcinogenesis and radiation carcinogenesis. So shall we start? So we all know what carcinogenesis means. It is a process of developing cancer, transformation of normal cell into cancer cells. That is because of carcinogens. And what is carcinogens? They are the substance or agent which are known to cause cancer or to increase the incidence of cancer in animal or human because of mutations. Carcinogens may be chemical or radiation or a biological agent such as viruses or bacteria, and they can be inhaled or ingested or they can be absorbed through our skin. There are different type of carcinogenesis, mainly chemical carcinogenesis, radiation carcinogenesis, and microbial carcinogenesis, about which we will talk later. So let us discuss about chemical carcinogenesis. Chemicals are the worst culprit because they constitute a large group of carcinogens, and nowadays so many chemical substances are being developed without prior testing on their potential toxic effect. Chemical carcinogenesis, it has two phases. One is initiation phase and second is promotion phase. When the agent will act on the genetic material, it initiates the process and it causes a permanent damage. And after that, promoter will act and they develops tumor. So in year 1775, there was a surgeon, Percival Port, who discovered that scrotal skin cancer in chimney sweepers occur because of chronic exposure to soot. And after that observation, there was a rule that chimney sweepers has to take a bath daily. It was very big discovery because after that no public health measure since was achieved so much in controlling any particular type of cancer, and after that hundreds of chemicals have been shown to show carcinogenesis in animals. So it was a very big discovery. So his reaction must be like this. So let us discuss about the steps which are involved in chemical carcinogenesis. We have talked about the initiation and promotion sequence. Initiation, that is because of exposure of cells to sufficient dose of carcinogen, and the change that has been brought about is the permanent change, and it is sudden and irreversible. And it is irreversible, it has a memory as well. But initiation alone however is not sufficient for tumor formation, so we need promoter. What does promotion do? They induce proliferation and clonal expansion of altered and initiated cell. Initiated means it is a mutated cell as well, we can say, but they are non-tumorigenic by themselves. So first the genetic material has to be exposed to initiator. After that promoter will act. If promoter will act first, then there will be no tumor formation. So in initiation phase, it's a irreversible DNA damage. In promotion phase, that is because of promoters, which are the chemical causing multiplication of already mutated cell, that causes reversible DNA damage. So let us differentiate between initiator and promoter. So sequence of application, we have to apply initiators first. After that, we will apply promoters. And mechanism is that initiator induce mutation, and promoter, instead of mutations, they induce cell cycling and reinforce the action of initiator rather than inducing a mutation. And those initiator we have to apply like on a single time for a short time, but promoters have to act repeatedly. And the response in initiation is sudden, but in promotion it is delayed. It can take years. And molecular change, they causes irreversible changes, and they have a memory. But promotion, promoters, they induce reversible changes. Examples are most of the chemicals and radiation are initiators, and hormone and formoterol esters, these are promoters. Initiators are the chemical carcinogenesis, have highly reactive electropiles. These are highly reactive electropiles, electron deficient होते हैं. And if somebody has less electron, they will go to a place where they will find so many electrons. So they will go to the site which are nucleopiles, which are nucleus in the cells. And in nucleus we have genetic material like DNA, RNA, and we have proteins. So if any damage which is non-lethal to DNA, which cannot be repaired, so the mutation is occurred, and mutated cell then pass these kind of DNA lesions to the daughter cells. So initiators are of two type: direct acting and indirect acting. So direct acting are initiators are which does not require any metabolic conversion to become carcinogenic. Example: cancer, chemotherapeutic drugs, alkylating agents, and these agents have successfully cured, controlled, or delayed the occurrence of certain type of cancer. Example are leukemia, lymphoma, like Hodgkin lymphomas. But these agents might evoke a second form of cancer later, usually acute myeloid leukemia. Indirect acting initiators, they require a metabolic conversion to become an active carcinogen, which is also known as ultimate carcinogen. And the principal active product in many hydrocarbon are epoxide, and they will form adduct, which are addition product with DNA. Example are polycyclic hydrocarbon that are present in fossil fuel as well as smoked meat and fish. Indirect acting chemical carcinogens that we have discussed, that they require metabolic activation for conversion into a ultimate carcinogen, which is active one, and this process requires the help of enzyme cytochrome P50 monooxygenases, which are also known as mixed oxidases. The gene that encode these enzymes are polymorphic in the activity. Polymorphic का मतलब is कि in different individual it has a different induction, like किसी में ज़्यादा है किसी में कम है इसकी एक्टिविटी. सो दे आर पोलीमॉर्फिक इन एक्टिविटी एंड they vary significantly among different individuals. Hence, polymorphism of this endogenous enzyme cytochrome P50 may influence carcinogenesis. If somebody has more of it, so it has a chance of developing cancer more. So as we discuss about indirect initiators, like in this diagram you can see the carcinogen, and it undergo a metabolic activation and it becomes epoxide. Majority it become epoxide or electrophilic intermediate, and it will go to a site where it will find more electrons, so it will bind to DNA and adduct formation will occur. And they can also deviate from this pathway into apoptosis, cell death may occur, and DNA repair can occur. But now because of mutation, P53 pathway has been blocked, so DNA repair does not occur. So a permanent DNA lesion is formed, which is known as initiator cell, and after that promoter will act and cell proliferation will occur, alter differentiation, and a pre-neoplastic clone formation has been taken place, and after that additional mutations and proliferation will occur, and there is a malignant neoplasm. So there is a test which is known as Ames test, and in this test it evaluates the ability of a chemical to induce mutation in the mutant strain of Salmonella typhimurium that normally cannot synthesize the histidine. So such strains, they first has to be incubated with potential carcinogen, which give liver homogentisate is added as well, which supply enzymes which are required to convert pro-carcinogen into ultimate carcinogen. If the chemical under test is mutagenic, so there will be mutation, and there will be a gene that there will be a mutation into the gene, and the strain can synthesize histidine now. So induce mutation in the mutant strain of Salmonella typhimurium in the form of functional histidine gene, which will be reflected by number of bacterial colonies growing on histidine-free culture medium. So in this image you can see, first we will have Salmonella typhimurium, and on culture media which does not have histidine. We will put it. So as the bacteria does not have a gene for histidine, so it will not survive. But when we add a carcinogen, and there will be we will also add liver homogenisate, so there will be mutation and there will be a functional histidine gene, so there will be a positive result. So there are some 10 chemicals which are very much particular about some cancers, like polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon, because of that lung cancer occur. Aflatoxin, hepatocellular carcinomas. Asbestos was like lung adenocarcinomas, so we can remember that. So let us discuss about molecular targets of chemical carcinogens. Though any gene may be target of chemical carcinogens, but the most commonly mutated oncogenes and tumor suppressor genes are RAS and P53. Aflatoxin B1, it's a natural occurring carcinogenic agent that is being produced because of some mold. Certain example is Aspergillus flavus. Aspergillus, they grow on improperly stored grain and nuts. There is a strong correlation between dietary level of alpha-lactoxin B1 and the incidence of hepatocellular carcinoma and some part of Africa and Far East. So let us discuss about radiation carcinogenesis now. That is because of the carcinogenesis, that is because of radiations, and mainly there are two types: ultraviolet radiation, which are non-ionizing, and second is ionizing radiation. So radiation, UV radiation and ionizing radiations. In ionizing radiation, we have X-rays, gamma rays, etc. And UV radiation, there are different type of UV radiation according to the wavelength: UV radiation A, UVA, UVB, and UVC, in which UVB is the most carcinogenic. So radiant energy in the form of UV rays of sunlight or as ionizing radiation are carcinogenic. UV rays are clearly implicated in causing of skin cancer, and ionizing radiations arises from either medical or occupational exposure or from nuclear plant accident and atomic bomb detonations, and these radiation has also developed a vast variety. So UV radiation, what does they do? They causes mutation because of they causes dimer formation in the DNA, pyrimidine dimers. So exposure to UV rays derived from sunlight, particularly in fair skin individual, is associated with increased incidence of skin cancer. How? जो fair लोग होते हैं, they have less melanin in their skin, right? And melanin is a protective mental layer in our skin. So it protects us from the sunlight, UV rays into the sunlight. So if melanin is less, so there will be more chances of developing cancer. And these cancers include squamous cell carcinoma, basal cell carcinoma, and melanoma of skin. As you can see in this diagram as ultraviolet B radiation, they cause pyrimidine dimer in DNA. Ultraviolet light will act on the DNA and thymine dimer, which is pyrimidine. So thymine dimers are formed. And the degree of cancer risk, it depends upon the type of UV rays and the intensity of exposure and quantity of melanin, the light absorbing protective mental layer which is present in the skin. So different type of cancers like non-melanoma and melanoma. So melanoma, non-melanoma, skin cell cancers like squamous cell carcinoma, basal cell carcinoma, they are associated with total cumulative exposure to UV radiation, means कि बहुत लंबे समय तक exposure हुआ है to UV radiations. And melanoma, they are associated with intense intermittent exposure, not for a long time but for a significant time, and like as occur in sun bathing. Okay, so ultraviolet rays, we have discussed that there are different type: UVA, UVB, and UVC. So we can see UVA has a wavelength ranging from 320 to 400 nanometer, UVB from 290 to 320 nanometer, and UVC 200 to 290 nanometer. So like you can see on the first diagram, this is a melanoma. That is because of due to intermittent exposure, which can occur in sun bathing. And second is basal cell carcinoma, that is a non-melanoma. Okay. So patient with inherited disease, there is a disease which is known as xeroderma pigmentosum, in which there is a defect in nucleotide excision repair pathway. It is one of the DNA repair pathway, and because of that it cannot repair the damage that is being occurred because of UV radiation. So as expected, there will be a greatly increased predisposition to cancer, skin cancer in this disorder. So you can see there is a defect in pyrimidine dimer that can cause xeroderma pigmentosum. So now we will talk about ionizing radiation. We have discussed that ionizing radiation causes cancer because we get exposed to them as in medical occupation or occupations that involve ionizing radiation, uses of ionizing radiations, like in medicine, radiographer, they are very much prone to develop skin cancers. So example of ionizing radiation are individuals which are dealing with X-rays, they develop skin cancer. Like miner of radioactive element in Central Europe and United States, they have a 10-fold increased incidence of lung cancer as compared to the rest of population. And we know about the atomic bomb which were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They have marked increase in the incidence of leukemia, 7-year latent period. The latent period is 7 years. And solid tumors like carcinomas of breast, colon, and thyroid and lungs. Now we will discuss about how much different tissues are vulnerable to radiation-induced cancer. Like bone marrow, it causes acute leukemia, that is myeloid as well, and thyroid carcinoma, which occur in 9% of individuals who were exposed to radiation during infancy or childhood. And in intermediate category, there are cancers like breast cancer, lung cancer, and salivary gland. In contrast, skin होती है, bone होती है, and gastrointestinal tract, these are last to be thought to have a radiation-induced neoplasia. Some studies also have shown that children who get 2 or 3 CT scan have a 3-fold higher risk of leukemia, and those that receive 5 to 10 can have a 3-fold higher incidence risk of brain tumor. तो हमें बार बार CT scan नहीं करवाना चाहिए. So when a doctor is asked to keep check on how many CT scan has been done, so he will say he's a doctor, not a mathematician. So that's all. We have to wrap up. So please like and subscribe to my channel. If somebody will not, so my line will be like this. So thank you.